1871. At the age of 24, Edison married 16-year-old Mary Stilwell, 1855-1884, whom had met 2 months earlier. She was an employee at one of his shops. They had 3 children: Marion Estelle Edison, 1873-1965, nicknamed Dot, 122. Thomas Alva Edison Jr., 1876-1935, nicknamed Dash, 123. William Leslie Edison, 1878-1937, inventor, graduate of the Sheffield Scientific School at Yale, 1900. 124. Mary Edison died at age 29 on the 9th of August, 1884, of unknown causes, possibly from a brain tumor, 125, or a morphine overdose. Doctors frequently prescribed morphine to women in those years to treat a variety of causes, and researchers believe that her symptoms could have been from morphine poisoning. 126. Edison generally preferred spending time in the laboratory to being with his family. 40. Minor Miller Edison in 1906. On the 24th of February, 1886, at the age of 39, Edison married the 20-year-old Minor Miller, 1865-1947, in Akron, Ohio. 127. She was daughter of the inventor Lewis Miller, co-founder of the Chautauqua Institution, and a benefactor of Methodist charities. They also had 3 children together: Madeleine Edison, 1888-1979, who married John S. Sloan. 128, 129. Charles Edison, 1890-1969, Governor of New Jersey, 1941-1944, who took over his father's company and experimental laboratories upon his father's death. 130. Theodore Miller Edison, 1898-1992, MIT Physics, 1923, credited with more than 80 patents. Minor outlived Thomas Edison, dying on the 24th of August, 1947. 131, 132, wanting to be an inventor, but not having much of an aptitude for it. Thomas Edison's son, Thomas Alva Edison Jr., became a problem for his father and his father's business. Starting in the 1890s, Thomas Jr. became involved in snake oil products and shady and fraudulent enterprises, producing products being sold to the public as the latest Edison discovery. The situation became so bad that Thomas Sr. had to take his son to court to stop the practices, finally agreeing to pay Thomas Jr. an allowance of $35, equivalent to $1,140 in 2022, 133 per week, in exchange for not using the Edison name. The son began using aliases, such as Burton Willard. Thomas Jr., experiencing alcoholism, depression and ill health, worked at several menial jobs, but by 1931, towards the end of his life, he would obtain a role in the Edison Company, thanks to the intervention of his half-brother Charles. 134, 135, views on religion and metaphysics. Historian Paul Israel has characterized Edison as a free thinker. 53. Edison was heavily influenced by Thomas Paine's The Age of Reason. 53. Edison defended Paine's scientific deism, saying, "He has been called an atheist, but atheist he was not." Paine believed in a supreme intelligence, as representing the idea other men often express by the name of deity. 53. In 1878, Edison joined the Theosophical Society in New Jersey, 136, but according to its founder, Helena Blavatsky, he was not a very active member. 137. In the 2nd of October, 1910, interview in the New York Times Magazine, Edison stated, This 1910 New York Times Magazine feature states that nature, the supreme power, Edison, recognizes and respects, but does not worship. Nature is not merciful and loving, but wholly merciless, indifferent. Edison is quoted as saying, "I am not an individual, I am an aggregate of cells," as, for instance, New York City is an aggregate of individuals. Will New York City go to heaven? Nature is what we know. We do not know the gods of religions. And nature is not kind, or merciful, or loving. If God made me the fabled God of the three qualities of which epoch, mercy, kindness, love, he also made the fish I catch and eat. And where do his mercy, kindness and love for that fish come in? No, nature made us, nature did it all, not the gods of the religions. 138. Edison was labeled an atheist for those remarks, and although he did not allow himself to be drawn into the controversy publicly, he clarified himself in a private letter, "You have misunderstood the whole article, because you jumped to the conclusion that it denies the existence of God. There is no such denial. What you call God I call nature, the supreme intelligence that rules matter. All the article states is that it is doubtful, in my opinion, if our intelligence or soul, or whatever one may call it, lives hereafter as an entity or disperses back again from whence it came, scattered amongst the cells of which we are made. 53. He also stated, "I do not believe in the God of the theologians, but that there is a supreme intelligence I do not doubt." 139. In 1920, Edison set off a media sensation when he told B.C. Forbes of American magazine that he was working on a spirit phone to allow communication with the dead, a theory which other newspapers and magazines repeated. 140. Edison later disclaimed the idea, telling the New York Times in 1926 that, "I really had nothing to tell him. But I hated to disappoint him, so I thought up this story about communicating with spirits, but it was all a joke." 141. On politics. Edison was a supporter of women's suffrage. 142. He said in 1915, "Every woman in this country is going to have the vote." 142. Edison notably signed on to a statement supporting women's suffrage, which was published to counter anti-suffragist literature spread by Senator James Edgar Martin. 143. Nonviolence was key to Edison's political and moral views, and when asked to serve as a naval consultant for World War I, he specified he would work only on defensive weapons, and later noted, "One am proud of fact that one never invented weapons to kill." Edison's philosophy of nonviolence extended to animals as well, about which he stated, "Nonviolence leads to the highest ethics, which is the goal of all evolution. Until we stop harming all other living beings, we are still savages." 144. 145. He was a vegetarian but not a vegan in actual practice, at least near the end of his life. 53. Following a tour of Europe in 1911, Edison spoke negatively about the belligerent nationalism that he had sensed in every country he visited. 146. Edison was an advocate for monetary reform in the United States. He was ardently opposed to the gold standard and debt-based money. Famously, he was quoted in the New York Times as stating, "Gold is a relic of Julius Caesar, and interest is an invention of Satan." 147. In the same article, he expounded upon the absurdity of a monetary system in which the taxpayer of the United States, in need of a loan, can be compelled to pay in return perhaps double the principal, or even greater sums, due to interest. Edison argued that, if the government can produce debt-based money, it could equally as well produce money that was a credit to the taxpayer. 147. In May 1922, he published a proposal, entitled "A Proposed Amendment to the Federal Reserve Banking System." 148. In it, He detailed an explanation of a commodity-backed currency, in which the Federal Reserve would issue interest-free currency to farmers, based on the value of commodities they produced. During a publicity tour that he took with friend and fellow inventor, Henry Ford, he spoke publicly about his desire for monetary reform. For insight, he corresponded with prominent academic and banking professionals. In the end, however, Edison's proposals failed to find support and were abandoned. 149, 150, Awards. Portrait of Edison by Abraham Archibald Anderson, 1890, National Portrait Gallery. The following is an incomplete list of awards given to Edison during his lifetime and posthumously in 1878. Edison was awarded an honorary Ph.D. from Union College, 151. The President of the Third French Republic, Jules Grevy, on the recommendation of his Minister of Foreign Affairs Jules Barthélemy Saint-Hilaire, and with the presentations of the Minister of Posts and Telegraphs Louis Coquet, designated Edison with the distinction of Foreign Officer of the Legion of Honor, Legion d'Honneur, by decree on the 10th of November, 1881. Winking Sad Smiley 152. Edison was also named a Chevalier in the Legion in 1879, and a Commander in 1889. 153. In 1887, Edison won the Magsaysay Medal. In 1890, he was elected a member of the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences. The Philadelphia City Council named Edison the recipient of the John Scott Medal in 1889. 153. In 1899, Edison was awarded the Edward Longstreth Medal of the Franklin Institute. 154. He was named an honorable consulting engineer at the Louisiana Purchase Exposition World's Fair in 1904. 153. In 1908, Edison received the American Association of Engineering Society's John Fritz Medal. 153. In 1915, Edison was awarded Franklin Medal of the Franklin Institute for discoveries contributing to the foundation of industries and the well-being of the human race. 155. In 1920, the United States Navy Department awarded him the Navy Distinguished Service Medal. 153. In 1923, the American Institute of Electrical Engineers created the Edison Medal and he was its first recipient. 153. In 1927, he was granted membership in the National Academy of Sciences. 153. On the 29th of May, 1928, Edison received the Congressional Gold Medal. 153. In 1983, the United States Congress, pursuant to Senate Joint Resolution 140, Public Law 97-198, designated the 11th of February, Edison's birthday, as National Inventors Day. 156. Life magazine, USA, in a special double issue in 1997, placed Edison first in the list of the 100 most important people in the last 1,000 years, noting that the light bulb he promoted lit up the world. In the 2005 television series The Greatest American, he was voted by viewers as the 15th greatest. In 2008, Edison was inducted in the New Jersey Hall of Fame. In 2010, Edison was honored with a Technical Grammy Award. In 2011, Edison was inducted into the Entrepreneur Walk of Fame and named a Great Floridian by the Governor and Cabinet of Florida. 157. Commemorations and popular culture. Thomas Edison issues of 1929 and 1947. Thomas Edison has been honored twice with two different U.S. postage stamps. The first was released in 1929 at Menlo Park, NJ, 2 years before his death, a 2-cent red on the 50th anniversary of his invention of the incandescent light, and again in 1947, 3 Cent Violet, on the 100th anniversary of his birth, first released in Milan, Ohio, his place of birth. 158, 159. Edison has also appeared in popular culture as a character in novels, films, television shows, comics and video games. His prolific inventing helped make him an icon, and he has made appearances in popular culture during